Okay, so good morning, everyone. So this session is now being recorded, and for our discussion, we'll be having our mass hall, and it would be discussed in two parts. The first one is the analytic solution or the exact solution, and the other one is by means of algorithmic solutions, specifically diagramming. Okay, so we will highlight first the analytic solution since this is about the theory and concept. Without this, you might find it hard to understand the diagramming approach. Okay? So let's have first a definition of terms. So most likely na-discuss na to, but we need to refresh our terminologies. Okay? So first is haul. Okay? It is basically the product of earth to be transported and the distance through which it is transported. So basically, yung amount ng lupa na ita-transfer and kung gaano kalayo ang pag-transfer, yun yung hauling natin. And it is usually expressed in meter station. Okay, meter station. And for a 1 cubic meter, it is being transported every 20 meter. And in English, so 1 cubic foot is being transported through a distance of 100 meters. So for example, this is our road. Okay? Ito yung road natin. So, ito yung, let's say, center line ng road. Ito yung right embankment. Ito yung left embankment. Okay? Then, this is the cross-section. Okay? Then, we have here our stationings. Okay, so 0 plus 0, 0. 0 plus 0, 1, 0. 0 plus 2, 0. Okay? So, with this, ito yung kinoconsider natin. Okay? Then, from center line, may stationing din tayo dito. So, it could be 1 plus 700. Ito naman ay 1 plus 800. Ito naman ay 1 plus 600. Depende sa cross-section. Okay? So, yan yung basic natin na we will consider 1 cubic meter that will be transported through a distance of 20 meters. Okay? Then, we have the term freehold distance. So, freehold distance is basically a distance within which a hauling is not paid but is assumed to be included in the cost of excavation. So, sa freehold distance, ito siya. It is the distance between the cut and fill. But before that, meron tayong, let's say, ito yung original embankment natin. Okay? So, syempre, bundok, tapos pababa. Now, etong taas, not really bundok, but pabundok. Okay? Medyo pa-uphill or medyo mas mataas ang elevation. So, with that, ito ang target line natin. Okay? Yung line ng road natin. Horizontal line natin ng road. So, or tinatawag natin na finish grade line. Ito naman yung natural grade line or yung surface mismo. Ito, FGL and GL. Now, etong portion na to, ito, ikakat yan. Kasi tatabasin, puputulin. I-excavate natin yan, huhukayin. Then, itong part naman na to, tatambakan. I-fill. Okay? So, this is the cut portion and this is the fill portion. Okay? Then, at this portion, from this up to this, ito yung tinatawag nating freehold distance. Yung distance na FHD. Ibig sabihin, pag nag-cut tayo dito, okay, pag tinransfer natin yan sa fill portion, we will assume na kasama na yung bayad dyan dun sa hauling. Sa pag-excavate na yan, kasama na. So, ibig sabihin, wala nang additional fee na mangyayari. Kaya tinatawag natin siyang free haul distance. Okay? So, dito, we can assume that the FHD is 200 meters, pero minsan kasi masyado malayo na yung 200 meters. So, practically speaking, it could be ano lang, 20. 20 meters or 50, 100, pwede pa. So, depende sa rate ng paghuhukay and yung kung gaano yung mga expense sa earth. Okay? So, yun yung consideration for that. Then, meron tayong tinatawag na overhaul. So, this time naman, it is the product of the volume of earth in excess of the freehold mass and the length of overhaul in which payment is already required. So, may bayad na. So, eto na yung portion na mag-excavate tayo. Ito yung excavate natin, then ita-transfer natin na may bayad na. Okay, so take note ha, ang sabi dito, it's the volume of the earth in excess of the freehold. So, etong part na to, okay, minus, ito, yung FHD. So, ito lang segment na to, tsaka itong segment lang na yan, yung overhaul. Okay, kasi yan na yung may bayad. So, overhaul is equal to the overhaul volume multiplied by the length of overhaul or the overhaul distance. Okay? Then, LOH or the length of overhaul, okay, it is the distance between the centroid of the volume of excavation and the centroid of the volume of embankment minus the freehold distance. So, ang consider natin sa LOH or sa OHD, overhaul distance, is sa centroid ng overhaul. Centroid ha, hindi sa dulo. Sa centroid lang. And from centroid to centroid, ang tawag natin doon is, we denote it with D. However, ang actual LOH or OHD is ito lang. Yan distance na yan, ha? Yan distance lang na to. So, D minus FHD, yun yung length of overhaul. Okay? So, ganun din sa kanina sa overhaul volume. Okay? Ang overhaul volume naman, kasama na tong part na to. Ito rin, kasama rin to. Kasi volume yan. Part ng volume yan. Okay? Next, we have the limit of economic haul. Basically, ito yung kung hanggang saan tayo mag-overhaul. So, from here up to here. Kasi beyond this period, so, yung leftmost part and yung rightmost part, hindi na siya economical. Okay? So, magastos na. Okay? Another term dito is profitable. Limit of profitable haul. It is basically the distance within which it is more economical to haul or beyond which is more economical to borrow. It is assumed that the cost of haul is equal to the cost of borrow. So dito, kung magkano yung gastos na pag-hauling, would be the same sa gastos ng pag-borrow. Since parehas lang yung cost of hauling and borrow within this limit, so eto, i-transfer natin dito. Kasi same lang naman. Kesa bumili ng bagong lupa. So, mag-haul na lang tayo. Okay? However, beyond that, mas mahal. Kasi mas malayo yung ita-travel, yung logistics. Okay? So, for us to determine the limit of the economic haul, ito yung mga yung ano natin, parameters natin. C sub B, it's the unit cost. Take note ha, unit cost to. Unit cost of the borrow, kung magkano ang magkano yung lupa pagbibilin. Okay, pagbibili ng lupa, magkano siya per cubic meter. Then, unit cost of haul, ganun din. So, ito naman kung magkano yung pag-excavate natin. Then, next is C, which is the length basis of the unit cost of haul. Ito yung travel. Okay? So, cost of haul is basically the distance at LEH. Ito yan, LEH. Diba? Limit haul, limit of economic haul, LEH, minus FHD. Kasi ito yung portion na i-ano natin. tawag dito, babayaran. Yung sa hauling part. Yung i-consider natin na volume. Divided by C. Okay? Again, C is the length basis of the unit cost of haul. Divided by C sub, multiplied by C sub H, the unit cost of the haul. While the cost of the barrow is just 1 cubic meter multiplied by the unit cost ng barrow. While the cost of haul, cost of barrow. Okay? So, it is assumed na ito tsaka ito would be equal at some cases. So, for LEH is equal to C sub B multiplied by C divided by C sub H plus FHD. Okay? So, we have the waste. So, waste are those materials excavated and thrown away, no longer necessary to form embankment. So, ito yon. Ito yung mapupunta na lang into waste kasi magastos kung ita-transfer pa yan dito. Mahal yung logistics. So, itatapon na lang yan. It would be waste. On the other hand, ito, since wala tayong pagkukuhanan neto kasi hindi na to pwede, so bibili na lang tayo. So magbaborrow tayo. So borrow are basically the materials excavated, obtained from a borrow pit located beyond the limits of the road when excavation for the roadway is not sufficient to form the embankment. So hahanap ng ibang mga borrow pit para masupplyan tong kulang na part. Okay? So let's have this example. So, the cross-section of Station 1 plus 460 is 40 meters squared in fill, and the cost, and at Station 2 plus 60 is 60 meters squared in cut. The free haul or the free haul distance is 50 meters. The unit cost of the borrowing is 4 pesos per cubic meter. The cost of excavation is 350, and the unit cost for haul is 0.2 per meter station. The balancing point is at station 1 plus 760. Assume that the ground surface to be sloping upward uniformly up until 1 plus 760, and then slightly steeper slope up to station 260. So we need to determine the following. So we have the limits of the free haul, the station of the limits of the economic haul, the overhaul volume, the length of overhaul, the cost of haul, the cost of waste, and the cost of borrow. Okay? So, let's solve this. Okay. So, first, we need to do is, of course, to illustrate. So, let's say this is station 1 plus 460. And this is station 1 plus 2 plus 060. So, what is the width of the road being used here? Being analyzed here? What is the length? Sige, kindly comment sa publicly. Okay? So, we have 600. So, 2,060 minus 1,460, so 600. And then, sabi dito, that the balancing point is 1,760. So, somewhere here. So, 1 plus 760. So, what is the distance from the the left bank up to the balancing point? So, what's the distance between 1460 and 1760? 300. And on the other side, we have 1760 and 2060. Ano ulit ang distance? 300. So, same lang, no? Ibig sabihin, yung station 1760 at the center point. So, with this, ang next statement dito is that the area, the cross-sectional area of station 1460 is 40 meters squared fill. Okay, yung area at this portion, kasi tinitingnan natin is yung dito, ngayon, ang tinitingnan natin is yung cross-section. Now, in terms of longitudinal, okay, ito yung cross-section na tinitingnan natin ngayon, this one. Pero, ang titingnan natin na cross-section is this one. So, ang cross-section na kinoconsider natin is 20 meters. 'Di ba? So, instead na 20 meters, pwede naman natin gawing 1 unit width para mas madali ang calculation. Okay? So, we will presume this is 1 meter. So, kung 40 square meter, maging 40 yan. Okay? So, this would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Exaggerate natin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 meter, 40 meters. So, para exaggerated. So, 40 square meter. On the other side, burahin ko na to. 60 naman. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So, medyo exaggerated lang. Okay. Then, next, as stated here, the ground surface to be sloping upward up to 760 and then slightly steeper slope sa 260. So, mapapansin naman natin pag kinonect natin to. Oops. Okay. Pag pinroject natin to sa center, and ito naman on the other side. Okay? So, ito yung fill side. Okay? Fill side. Fill to. Ito naman cut. Okay? So, mapapansin nyo, mas steep yung slope sa cut side as compared with the fill. So, ang gagawin natin dito is i-breakdown natin yung components niya. Okay? So, with this case, mag-ratio and proportion tayo. But first, gagawa tayo ng gawa muna tayo ng arbitrary. Let's use blue. for the free haul. So basically, si free haul, kunwari, ito siya. Within this limit, si free haul distance. Okay? Ang sabi sa problem is that the free haul distance is 50 meters. Okay? So, yung total length niya ay 50 meters. Yung sa left, tsaka sa right. So, dito, magre-ratio and proportion tayo. Okay? So, we will assume this one to be y sub L, 1. Ito naman si y sub L, y sub R, 1. May 1 and may 1 siya kasi mamaya may second estimate tayo ulit. Y sub 1, 2. Then, yung L is para sa left side, yung R para sa right side. Then, ito si x sub 1, ito naman is 50 minus x sub 1. Okay? So, i-ratio and proportion natin to. So, let's have fill and cut. So, ang ratio and proportion natin dito is rise and run. So, rise natin ay y sub L 1 over x sub 1 is equal to, titignan naman natin to sa sa bigger triangles natin. So, ang rise natin ay 40 meters over 300 meters. Ganun din sa cut. So, ang cut natin is YR1 over 50 minus x sub 1 is equal to, ito naman is 60 meters over 300 meters. Then, let's isolate y sub L and y sub R. So, y sub L sub 1 is equal to 40 meter divided by 300 meters times x sub 1. And this one would be y sub R1 is equal to 60 meters divided by 300 meters times 50 minus x sub 1. Okay, kindly simplify. Kindly simplify the coefficient of x sub 1. So, 40 meters divided by 300 meters. Kindly simplify. Kindly provide the fraction form. So, we have 215. 2 over 15. X sub 1. How about 60 over 300? 1/5. So, 50 minus x sub 1. Okay? So, ito na yung component natin. Then, ipe-presume natin that the volume of the fill and the volume of the cut would be equal. Kasi, kung ano yung ika-cut mo dito, yun yung itatambak mo rito. Okay? So, dapat equal yung volume. So, volume of the fill is equal to volume of the cut. So, since this is triangle, so 1/2 times base times the altitude lang to. Okay? So, let's have 1/2 times the thickness. Don't forget. Okay? So, 1/2. Ang base natin ay x sub 1. Ang altitude natin is y sub L 1. Ano ang thickness natin? Would be 1 unit. Is equal to 1/2 50 minus x sub 1 multiplied by y sub L y sub R 1 times 1 unit with thickness. Then let's move this, center lang natin. Now, yung y component, palitan natin siya in terms of x para mas mabilis i-simplify, so we have 1/2 x sub 1. So YL sub 1, it is equal to 2 over 15 x sub 1 times 1 unit is equal to 1/2 50 minus x sub 1 over x sub 1 multiplied by 1/5 50 minus x sub 1 times 1 unit width. Okay? So, we will simplify this. Yung 1/2 magka-cancel. Yung 1 magka-cancel. So, ito na lang matitira. So, x sub 1 times 2 over 15 x sub 1. So, that would be 2 over 15 times x sub 1 squared, which is equal to 1/5. 50 minus x sub 1 squared. Okay? So, with this, okay, magiging quadratic ang formula natin. Okay? So, quadratic ang equation natin for this case. So, kindly identify what would be the value of our x's. Sige, kindly provide the two possible answers of x's. We have 27.52551 meters. And we have 272.477 Okay, among these two, ano ang pipiliin nating value ni x sub 1? Anong value? Yung 27.52551 ba or yung 272.47449? Okay, ang pipiliin natin is yung 27. Okay? So, itong area na to, let's transfer it here sa side. Okay? Then, let's now identify yung mga values ng x sub 1 natin. Ang x sub 1 natin ay 52551 meters. And, so basically, itong x sub 1 na to is si x sub r 1. Okay? Which is equal to x sub 1. Then, si x sub, this is L pala. L. Ito naman, si x sub r 1, which is basically equal kay 50 minus x sub 1. So, what would be the value? So, 50 minus 27.52551. So, we have 22.47449. Okay? Then, let's solve for y sub 1, y sub L1, and y sub R 1. So, substitute lang natin. So, 2 over 15 times 27.52551, yun yung si YL1. Samantalang si YR1, it is just 1/5 times 22.47449. Sige, kindly compute. Kindly compute. We have 3.67007 meters, while YR sub 1 is 4.49490 meters. Okay, so meron na tayong um, yung X and Y values, pero ang pinapahanap sa atin ay stations. Okay? Ano daw ang station neto? Tsaka neto. So, all we have to do is to use the X values together with 1 plus 760. So, ito, 1 plus, itong 1,760 to the left. So, babawasan natin ng X sub 1. Then, itong naman to the right, 1 plus, 1,760 plus yung 50 minus X sub 1. Okay? So, ganun lang gagawin natin. Kasi ang balancing point natin ay 1 plus 760. Okay? So, what would be our station? One plus 760 minus 27.52551 meters. Anyone? Kindly comment. So we have 1 plus 732.732.47449. How about sa cut side? So 1,760 plus 22.47449. We have station 1 plus 782.47 47449. Okay, may nagtanong, saglit. 300 minus 27. What do you mean with 300 minus 27? Which side are you referring? This 300 or itong 300 na to? Ito? Babawasan ng 27? So, ito ang matitira? Bakit? Okay. Okay? So, going back. So, dito, na-solve natin is that ito yung mga stations. But then again, ang final answer natin dapat up to the third decimal lang. So, 1 plus 732.47 474 and station 1 plus 782.474. Okay? Kasi bakit up to the third decimal lang? Kasi yung whole number, yun yung meter. Yung first decimal number, that is the decimeter. Yung second is the centimeter. And the third decimal number is for the millimeter. Okay? So, 1732. Taas lang natin. So, sulat natin yung stations. 1 plus 7, 32.474. Tama ba? 474. Then, lastly, dito naman sa kabilang side, this is 1 plus 782.474. Okay. Okay? So basically, at within that range, libre. So yung excavation natin dito, papunta dito, would be considered as libre. Okay? Next, meron na tayong stations ng free haul. Next naman is economic haul. Pag sinabi nating economic haul, it is the limits kung saan profitable or economic pa ang maghukay at itambak within the project. Okay? Now, may formulation tayo to get that. So, we have si LEH is equal to C sub B times C plus, divided by C sub H plus FHD. C sub B, C divided by C sub H plus FHD. So, LEH, dito na lang natin lagay sa side. LEH is equal to C sub B, C over C sub H plus FHD. So, ang C sub B natin ay 4 pesos divided by C sub H, which is 0.2 per meter station. Now, since 0.2 per meter station to, multiply natin si C, which is 20 meters, kasi 20 meters ang bawat per station. Okay? Since ito ay ganung process, so plus FHD, ang FHD natin ay 50. So, kindly solve for FHD. FHD. Kindly compute for LEH. So, we have 450. 450 yung economic haul natin. Yung distance. So, let's use red. Okay, 450 meters. So, likewise, ganun din yung gagawin nating process. Take note ha, iba yung approach na nakalagay sa slide deck tsaka sa approach na ginagawa natin ngayon. Pero it will still yield with the same result. May onling discrepancy because of the decimal numbers, but will yield with the same result. Okay? So, we have our cut and fill again. Fill, then cut. So, ganun pa rin ang gagawin natin. Ratio and proportion, this would be x sub 2, y sub L2, y sub R2. Ito naman is 450 minus x sub 2. Okay, katulad lang ng ginawa natin kanina. Dito, same na same lang. Okay, so let's have our ratio and proportion. So y sub L2 over x sub 2 is equal to 400 meters over 300. And likewise, YR2 over 450 minus x sub 2 is equal to 60 over 300. So, isolate natin. So, YL2. So, it would be 40 over 300 meters all over, multiplied by x sub 2. And on the other side, YR2. So 60 meters over 300 meters multiplied by 450 minus x sub 2. Sige, kindly simplify. What would be sa YL sub 2? Ito rin ay magiging 2 over 15 x sub 2. Ito naman ay maging 1/5 450 minus x sub 2. Okay, so parehas lang. Mapapansin ninyo, nagbago lang yung distance. Instead of 50, naging 450. Okay? So, after this, magka-cut and fill din tayo. Okay? So, again, volume of the cut, volume of the fill should be equal sa volume ng cut. Okay? So, 1/2 x sub 2 times y sub L 2 times 1 unit is equal to 1/2 450 minus x sub 2 multiplied by y sub R2 times 1 unit. Adjust lang natin. Then, substitute. So, this would be 1/2 x sub 2. Yung YL2, gawin natin 215. 2 over 15 x sub 2 times 1 unit is equal to 1/2 450 minus x sub 2 multiplied by 1/5 450 minus x sub 2 multiplied by 1 unit. And then magka-cancel si 1/2 si 1. Okay? So, ang matitira ay 2 over 15 x sub 2 is equal to 1/5 of, ito naka-square din yan, 450 minus x sub 2 squared. Okay? Kindly solve for the value of x's. So, may two possible answer here. Katulad lang kanina, two possible answer. What are the two possible answers for x sub 2? Kindly comment sa chat box. X sub 2 is equal to what? We have 2 or 7.72 72962 meters, and the other one is 2,400 1,452.27038 meters. So, between the two, anong pipiliin natin? Pipiliin natin si 247. Okay? So, wait lang ha. Palitan natin tong para same sa taas. Color. Pwede ba natin red? Okay? Yan. Para parehas. Para same pattern sa ginawa natin kanina. Diba? Then, we will now identify. So, red ang gagamitin natin. So, we have XL2 x sub L, 2, and x sub R, 2. So, x sub L2 is 247.72962 meters. How about XR sub 2? X sub R2. What would be the value? So, ano lang yan? 450 minus 247.72962. What could be the value? We have 202.27038 meters. Then y sub L, 2, and y sub R, 2. So, 2 over 15 times 247.72962. Kindly compute. So we have 33.03062 meters. Next, how about YR2? We have 40.45408 meters. Okay? Then, next natin ay yung station. Ganun din, yung process. So, 1760 minus 247.72962 para sa fill, and sa cut naman ay 1760 plus 202.27038. Kindly compute the stations. Comment nyo sa chat box. Kasi ang pinapahanap dito are the stations of the limit of economic halt. Sige, comment sa chat box. We have station 1 plus 5, 1, 2, point. Kindly provide pa rin yung until 5 decimal numbers. Mamaya na tayo truncate. 1 plus 5, 1, 2. 2, 7, ano yan? 270, 38 meters. Ito rin ay station 1 plus 962.27038. Okay, so that would be station 1 plus 512.270 and station 1 plus 962.270. Okay? So, taas natin. Sulatan na natin ng station. This would be 1 plus 512. 512.270. Ito naman ay 1 plus 962.270. Okay? So, do you have any question for that? Okay tayo? Pa-thumbs up if okay. May concerns ba? Questions? Clarification? Okay na ba lahat? Anim pa lang ang nagta-thumbs up. How about the others? Okay. Next naman, So, si item A and B, okay na tayo. Next naman si overall volume. So, ang gusto natin malaman dito is yung volume nito. Okay? So, gagawin natin dito instead of just using, kasi we can directly calculate the area kasi trapezoid yan, di ba? So, yung area niyan is basically 1/2 times the summation of the bases, base 1 plus base 2, times the altitude, times a 1 unit para sa thickness. Yun yung volume. However, instead of using that approach, a-applyan natin ng Varignon's theorem. Bakit natin a-applyan ang Varignon's theorem? Kasi mamaya kakailanganin natin kunin yung centroid ng trapezoid. Wala naman tayo, though merong direct formulation for the trapezoid, centroid ng trapezoid, pero it would be complicated kung kakabisaduhin nyo yun. So, intindihin nyo na lang yung process by means of variance. So, we will subdivide this into component. So, hatiin natin yan to rectangle and rectangle component para mas mabilis natin makompute yung centroid. Okay? Then, apply natin ng variance theorem. So, we have the section here. Okay, so this would be for the fill, and this would be for the cut. Then, hatiin natin to. This is for the volume. This is for the centroid. Volume. Centroid. Now, we will start first with a rectangle. What is the area of a rectangle? Area ng rectangle, what would be our area ng rectangle natin? Length times width, or for this case, base times the altitude. Ito ang base. Tapos ito naman yung altitude. And as for the centroid, it is located just 1/2. 1/2 of the base and 1/2 of the altitude. 'Di ba? So, let's start first with the volume. So, volume nito would be base times the altitude. Ang base natin, okay? So, ito ang base. Tapos, ito ang altitude. Okay? So, si x sub 2, which is 247.72962 minus x sub 1 ay 27.52551 multiplied yung altitude niya 3.67 3.67007 times a 1 unit width. Ganun din sa kabila. So, this would be 202 minus 202.27038 minus 22 47449. 47449 multiplied by 4.4949. 4.4949 times a 1 unit width. Okay, kindly compute for the volume. Ang volume natin, basically, area times the thickness. So, that would be area times 1. Or base times altitude times 1. Okay? Sige, compute for the volumes para sa fill and cut using the given the rectangular part. As mamaya yung triangle naman. Okay, kindly compute, guys. We have 808.16450 cubic meter and 808.1645. 16455 16455. Okay, so pare-parehas ba kayo ng sagot? Next naman, ang centroid natin, x bar ng rectangle, basically base, 1/2 of the base lang to. So, 1/2, ang base natin ay 247.726 minus 27.52551. Itong kabila naman ay 1/2. Para hindi masikip. Uh, 247.72962 minus 27.52551 all over 2. Then, itong kabila ay 202.27038 minus 47449 47449 all over 2. So, kindly get the x bar. Kindly compute the x bars. Anyone from the class? Okay, so we have 110, 1026 meters, and the other one is 89.89795. Okay? So, pare-parehas ba lahat? How about the others? Please make sure ha lahat sumasagot. Okay, next part, yung triangle naman. So, this would be the altitude. Okay, so this is the altitude. And this is the base. And with this orientation, the centroid is located here. So, ito ay 1/3 ng H. Tapos, ito naman, 2/3 ng base. Now, 1/3 ng base if galing sa base. However, ang reference kasi natin yung nasa vertex. Okay? Ito kasi ang reference natin. Lahat dapat pointing from 1760 kasi. Okay? So, with that, let's, as for the volume, ganun din. So, area is equal to 1/2 base times the altitude. As for the volume, it is also area multiplied by the thickness. So, 1/2 base times altitude times 1. Okay? So, volume natin, ganun pa rin. So, same pa rin yung sa base, which is 247.72962 minus 27.52551 times, dito muna, 202.27038 minus 22.47449 times, okay, yung altitude naman. Ang altitude natin this time is ito lang. So, the whole this minus this. Okay? So, that would be 33.036.03062 minus, tama ba? 03062 minus 3.67007 times the thickness, which is 1 unit. Then, dito naman sa kabila, that is 40.45408 minus 4.49490 times the 1 unit width. Okay, kindly calculate the volume. Sige, comment sa chat box, what would be the volume? Sige. Yes, we need to multiply it by 1/2 kasi triangle nga pala to. Thank you for pointing it out. Adjust natin dito yan. Adjust din natin to. May 1/2 dapat dito. And dito rin may 1/2 kasi triangle. $27,500 to $27,500 to 551. So we have 3,000 to 32, 32.65, 65, 689, and 32, point 65639 cubic meter. Okay? Now, as for the centroid, ganun din yung process natin, pero this time two-thirds of the centroid from the vertex is basically two-thirds ng base. Okay? So we have ang base natin ay x bar ng triangle to. So 247.7296 minus 27.52551 over 3. Okay? Times 2/3 pala to. Ulit. Two-thirds. So 247.72962 minus 27.52551. On the other side, x bar is equal to two-thirds times 202.27038 minus 22.47449. Okay, kindly determine the centroid of the triangles in reference with the vertex. We have 146, 80274 meters, while the other x bar sa triangle is 119.86393. Okay? Now, next natin gagawin is for us to get the total volume. Sige. Kindly get the total volume. Total volume. So kindly add 808.16450 plus 3232.65689. That's for the fill. And as for the cut, so 808.16455 plus 3232.65639. Sige, kindly add please. So we have 4040.82139 cubic meters, while the other is 4040 0.82094 cubic meter. Okay? Next, as for the centroid naman, ano kayang gagawin natin sa centroid? Anong gagawin natin? Dito sa centroid, we will apply the Varignon's theorem. So dito, we are stating that the total volume multiplied by the total x bar, not the total, the actual centroid of the polygon is equal to the summation of the volume components multiplied by the centroid of the components. Okay? So, isolate natin si x bar. So, x bar is basically the summation of the volume of the components multiplied by its centroid divided by the total volume. Okay, let's start first with the fill, then mamaya sa cut. So, x bar is equal to okay, so volume muna tayo ng fill. So, we have 808.16450 cubic meter multiplied by its centroid, which is 110.10206 meters, plus yung triangle, which is 3,232.65689 cubic meter multiplied by its centroid, which is 146.80274 80274 meters all over the total volume, which is 4,000.82139 cubic meter. Okay, kindly solve that. Ganun din sa sa cut. Sulat ko lang muna. 808.16455 cubic meter multiplied by 89.89795 plus 3232.65639 cubic meter times 119.86393 meters all over the total volume, which is 4040.82094. Okay, kindly compute the x bar. We're almost done. Ito na ba? 139? 139.46260 meters, and the other is 113.87073 meters. Okay? So, x bar natin is 139.46260 meters, and sa cut naman is 113.87073 meters. Now, etong x na to, kasi 'di ba kanina mayroon tayong X sub 1, X sub R, ang reference nun ay from the balancing, which is 1 plus 760. However, dito sa X bar na ginagawa natin at this time, reference niyan is ito, ha? So, dito, up until, ano sabi? 139. So, somewhere here, 139 point, ano sa, 463 meters. Ito rin naman, ganun din. What's that? 113.871 meters. Okay? So, ito yung centroid. So, itong centroid na to, project natin to sa taas. Okay? Ito yung D. Okay? Ito yung D kanina sa figure. Okay? So, please ha. Ito ay LEH. Okay? So, do you have any question? Tanong dito sa part na to. Okay lang tayo? Pa-thumbs up? Okay. Now, basically, ito si D ha. Sige nga, kindly add. So, FHD natin is 150. So, 139.46260 plus 113.87073. D is equal to 139.46260 meters plus 113.87073 meters plus yung FHD, which is 50 meters. What would be the value? 253. Added na yung 50. Okay, wala. 303 point 303.333. Okay? Ayon si D. 303.33333 meters. Okay? Next naman natin is so hindi pa pala natin na-solve. Ang pinapasolve ay overhaul volume tsaka length of overhaul. So, for the overhaul volume, sige, green na rin. Hindi, yellow natin yan. Yan. Overhaul. Overhaul volume. Okay? So, mapapansin ninyo, etong cut and fill natin, na sinolve kanina, yan na yung volume ng overhauls. Sa fill, tsaka sa cut. However, tingnan nyo, may discrepancy. 40-40, 40-40, yung whole number, okay, wala tayong problema. However, sa last 3 digits is 82139, yung isa naman is 82094. So, all we have to do is just to take the average. So, 40.82139 plus 40.82094 all over 2. Okay, kindly get the average. Kindly get the average. So we have 4040.82117 cubic meter. Okay, may overhaul volume na tayo. Next is length of overhaul or the overhaul distance. So length of overhaul or overhaul distance. Basically, ito yung x bar sa fill plus x bar sa cut na sinolve natin kanina sa overhaul. So, 139.46260 meters plus 113.87073 meters. Kindly solve. We have 253.33333 meters. Pero 'di ba meron pa tayong isang formula kanina? Overhaul length of overhaul. Isang formula ay D minus FHD. Okay? So guys, for a while, saglit lang. So ito yung isang formula, LOH is equal to D minus FHD. So babalikan natin yung OneNote. So LOH is equal to D minus FHD, which is 303.33333 minus 50 meters. So same lang din, ha? Is equal to 253.33333 meters. Okay? Next natin, last 3 items. Cost of haul, cost of waste, and cost of borrow. Okay? So, ito naman yung next natin isosolve. So, ito ang formula natin. Cost of haul is 1 cubic meter times LEH minus FHD over C divided multiplied by C sub H. Then cost of borrow is 1 cubic meter times the unit cost of borrow. Okay, so kindly take note, ha. May multiplier tayo dito na 1 cubic meter kasi we are assuming na 1 cubic meter yung assessment natin. Ito yung gagastusin per cubic meter. So, i-multiply pa natin to sa actual volume. Okay? So, with that, let's have our, cost of haul. Sige. Before tayo cost of haul, compute muna natin yung mga volumes. Overhaul volume, okay na tayo dito. Pero yung cost of, yung volume ng waste tsaka volume ng borrow, yun muna yung isolve natin. Okay? So, volume of borrow. Okay? So, ang volume ng borrow for this case is ito. Ito yung ibaborrow. So, ito, bibili tayo. Okay? So, yan ang kukumpitin natin. So, ang volume pa rin natin ganun, 1/2. Ang base natin ay 300 minus yung x sub 2. 300 minus ang x sub 2, 247. 247, 72, 962. Okay? Then, yung that would be the base. Now, as for the altitude, okay? So, ito, 40, nasa left side. Tapos, yung nasa right side, si y sub 2. 40 plus, ang y sub 2 natin ay y sub 2, 33. 33, 03062. 03062 times 1 unit width, yun para sa thickness. Ganun din sa volume ng waste. So, 1/2. So, 300 minus yung x sub R2, which is 202,270. 202. Ano ulit? 202, 2738. 2738. Multiplied by 60 kasi yun nasa right side. Ito yan. Ito yung magiging waste. Ito, waste to. Tatapon na. Okay? Tatapon yan. Tatapon. Okay? So, 60 to. Ay, wala pala tayong nilagay na. Ito ay 60 meters. Ito ay 1 meter. So, 60 plus 40.45. 40.45, 408. 1 unit. Okay? Sige, kindly solve. This is meters, 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 meters. Sige, kindly compute the volume of the barrow and volume of the waste. Sige, compute. Volume of the barrow is 1908.66913 cubic meter. On the other side, as for the volume of the waste, that's 4,908.66953 cubic meter. Okay? Now, next natin is we will determine the OH or the overhaul. Ang overhaul natin, OH. Okay? It is the product of the volume of the earth in excess of the free haul. Okay? Ginawa na natin yan. And the length of overhaul or LOH. Nakumpit na rin natin. Multiply lang natin. OHV times LOH, that would be OH. So, OH is equal to, this is OHV times LOH. Ang OHV natin ay 4,040.82117. Okay, multiplied by the length. Ang length natin ay 253.333. Okay? Now, take note na ang consideration natin dito is per station. And yung stations natin is tantamount to 20 meters. Okay? Sige, kindly compute. Sir, 1 over 20? Yes. I-divide nyo lang by 20 or multiply by 1 over 20. We have 51183.73415 meter station. Okay? So, ito yung component natin. So, ibig sabihin, 518373415 per meter station ang consideration dito. Next is yung cost of haul. Okay? So, ang cost of haul natin, with this, all we have to do is to multiply it by the amount. So, 51183.73415 meter station times OH times C sub H. So, 51.183.73415 meter station multiplied by, ang C sub H natin ay 0.2. Tama ba? Nasaan si 0.2? Ito, 0.2 per meter station. Okay, kindly compute what would be the cost of haul. We have 10,236.74 683 yung amount. Okay? Times. Okay? Next would be the cost of borrow. COB. Ang cost of borrow natin is basically the volume of the borrow multiplied the borrow amount. Yung rate. Ang rate natin for the borrow ay 4 pesos per cubic meter. So, ang volume natin is 1908.66913 cubic meter multiplied by 3 pesos. Tama ba? 4 pesos per cubic meter. Sige, kindly solve. We have 7,634.67652. And as for the cost of waste, so volume of the waste, okay, multiplied by the cost ng waste or yung which is the same with sa haul, which is yung excavation is 350. So ang volume natin ay 4,908.66953 multiplied by 3 pesos, 3.5. Kindly solve. Have 17,000. 17,180.34336. Okay? Yes, overhaul is in per meter station. Per meter station siya. Okay? So basically, that's it for this. So do you have any question for the analytic solution? Kindly raise your hand if wala kayong question. And if may question kayo, use the chat box or the use the chat box or your microphones. Okay. So basically, that's it for the analytic solution. Okay? So, medyo iba lang yung approach na nakalagay sa slide deck, ha? Then, ganun lang din dito. Similar triangles lang din. Okay? Now, we will proceed with the the next approach, which is the algorithmic solution. So this is by means of diagramming. Okay. So here, mass hall diagram, it is a series of lines that shows the net accumulation of cut or fill from the station to station. Ordinate is the net volume. Again, ordinate is the net accumulation of volume from an arbitrary starting point. The first station is the starting point. Okay? So, ito, sa profile diagram, basically ito yung elevations. Okay? Ng ground surface natin, kung gaano kataas yung fill na yung stockpile na ika-cut, okay? Tsaka yung i-fill, yun yung sa profile diagram. On the other hand, sa mass diagram naman, it is already in terms of volume. So, lahat yan, kinakalculate in terms of volume. So, mamaya isa-isahin natin yan, ha? So, continuous curve whose vertical ordinates plotted on the same distance scale as the longitudinal section represents the algebraic sum of the corrected volumes used to compare the economy of the various methods of earthwork distribution on the road or railway construction. Then, with this distance beyond which it is more economical to borrow or waste than to haul from the project. So, again, that's the limit of profitable haul or the limit of economic haul. Then, we will introduce the term bulking or shrinkage. Excavation of material causes it to loosen. Thus, its excavated volume will be greater than its in situ volume. Kasi pag kunwari itong stockpile na to, this one, pag in-excavate natin yan, so magiging buhaghag yan. Okay? Magiging loose. Then, pag nilipatan natin dito, syempre, hindi lang naman yan basta ipapatong. Iko-compact yan. So, pag yan kinompak, masisiksek. So, tendency, mabibitin. So, magkakaroon ng shrinkage. So, liliit. So, sabi to, when filled and compacted, it may occupy a less volume than when originally in situ. So, that's why we need to apply the correction factor. Okay? Kasi meron tayong shrinking and bulking. So, lightly sandy soil, which is less by 11% after filling. Ibig sabihin, nag-shrink. Usually, a sandy soil will basically shrink by 11%, hypothetically speaking. So, pwede magbago yan, yung amount of shrinking. Then, large rocks naman may bulk up to 40% kasi depende kung paano siya na-stacka. So, tendency medyo, instead na magko-compact, medyo magba-bulk. Kasi depende kung paano na-stack yung mga malalaking bato. Okay? Thus, a correction factor is generally applied to the cut or fill volumes. Okay? So, here are the properties of mass hall diagram. So, grade points on the profile diagram correspond to the maximum and minimum points of the mass diagram. So, here, sa profile diagram, ito yung grade line natin. Again, horizontal line yan because that would be our finish grade line. FGL. Finish grade line or finish grade level. Kumbaga, ang kalsada natin, gusto natin ito yung maging elevation na niya. Kaya finish grade line. Ito namang curved. Ang tawag natin dyan is NGL or the natural grade line. Kasi yan yung natural surface ng soil. Okay? And the intersection of the NGL and FGL, yan yung mga grade points. And these grade points, once we project it downward papunta sa mass diagram, it will coincide with the minimum and the maximum point of the mass diagram. Okay? Next, ascending lines denote cut, while descending lines denote fill or embankment. So, yung ascending line, papataas sa mass diagram, ibig sabihin yan cut. Then, ito namang pababa, Ibig sabihin yan, fill. Okay? Next, the difference in length between any two vertical ordinates of the diagram is basically the volume between the stations at which the ordinates were erected. So basically, ito, volume 1. Okay? Ito yung volume na ika-cut. Ito yung section na ika-cut. Now, in terms of mass ordinate, ito, yung volume na to, plus yung volume nito would be equal. Okay? Tandaan ninyo, ang component natin dito, yung X, station. Yung Y, elevation. Okay? On the other side, sa mass diagram, ang X ay station, ang Y is volume. Okay? That is why ito, yung area neto times yung width, so volume na, is equal sa Y value neto plus sa Y value neto. Okay? Now, kung titignan nyo yung formula sa baba, H sub 2, ito yan, since above the x-axis, so positive yan, minus H sub 1. H sub 1 for this is below the x-axis. So, automatic yung H sub 1 is negative value yan. So, kaya siya minus para later on, minus negative value. So, basically, i-add lang natin. Arithmetically speaking. Okay? Ganun din dito. Ha? So, si V2, ito yan, H2, H4. Okay? Next, between any two stations where the curved line is intersected by the horizontal line, excavation is equal to the embankment. Okay? So, pag ito nag-project tayo, ito ay basically the free hall, FH dito. Ito naman ay economic hall, LEH. Okay? So, at this point, V3 and V4 would be equal. At this point. Pag pinroject yan. Ha? Next, etong formulations na to, I will further discuss this later. Basically kasi to ay interpolations lang. Okay? So, the area cut off by any horizontal line and the curve is the measure of the hole between the 2 points where the line cuts the diagram. So, in the mass diagram, a loop that forms a peak indicates the hole forward, and a loop that forms a sag indicates a hole backward. So let's have this problem. So following a tabulation of volumes of cut and fill between stations 0 and 300 with a shrinkage factor of 30%, prepare the table of the mass ordinates, draw the mass curve, and approximate the profile. Indicate in the mass diagram the lines for free hall and limit of economic hall. So FHD is 100, LEH is 250. Show the mass diagram. The free hall, overhaul, barrow, and waste volume, and approximate the length of OHD and the LOH, then determine the overhaul value. So, let's have this Excel file. Kopyahin lang natin. So, 0 plus plus 20. Baguhin natin yung format. hanggang 300. This is the station. And this is the volume ng cat. Okay. Insert tayo ng cubic. Copy. Okay, so this is 60, 130, 90, 110, 70, 160, 100, 110, 70, then negative 100, negative 90, negative 140, negative 130, negative 150, negative 140, negative 100. Okay, that would be the volume. Okay. Next natin gagawin is prepare the table of the mass ordinates. So, but before that, we need to correct as land mass shrinks when filled and compacted, the corrected volume is computed by considering the shrinkage factor. Ito yung sa fill. Okay. Gawin natin dito ay merge natin to. This would be the volume. Cut. Ito, fill. However, this is the actual. Ito, corrected. Okay? If, so dito, mag-apply lang tayo. 1 plus 30%. Then, this would be the mass ordinate. All you have to do, the first station, the first mass ordinate is equal to the volume. Okay? Then, successively, okay, i-add lang natin. Ito. Oops. So, this one is i-add natin. Plus, if manual na lang natin. Then, pagdating dito, plus 130. Okay? So, dito, pagdating dito sa negative side, yung corrected ang gagamitin natin, ha? Next, is we will plot our data. So, negative 200. Okay, and negative 130. So, ito, magpa-plot tayo. Okay, yung curve natin. So, insert. Select data. Okay. Then, let's have another one. Select data, add our x value, which will be this one. And for the okay, let's change the type. Gawin nating line. Okay. So, ipapantay lang natin para naman medyo mag-match. Okay. So, basically, ito na yung graph natin. So, lagyan natin ng trend line. Data. Okay. So, pang ano lang to. Approximate lang naman natin yan. Next is mag-denote tayo kung ano ang 20, 100, and 250. Ano ba ulit si 20? 20 refers to the, what do you call this? The per station. Kasi yun yung tina-travel per 20 meters. Then 100, it is the length of the freehole diagram. And 250 naman, on the other hand, is the limit of economic haul. Okay? So, by means of graphical approach, tansyahan lang to ha. Kaya nga siya naging algorithmic. So, insert tayo ng line. So, this is 0. Gawin natin itong 1. Okay, so exaggerate natin to. So, ibig sabihin, dapat ang length na to ay magiging equal to 1. Try ko to. Dito tayo sa labas maglagay ng line. This is 0. This is 1. Then, gawin nating makapal na blue. Okay? Di kita. Okay, ito. So, basically, ito, ibig sabihin yan ay per station yan, which is 20. So, gawin natin tong increment format axis. Okay, ang minor, ang units nito is 50. Gawin natin 20. Ito rin. Gagawin natin 20. So, instead of 1.5 na lang. Yan. So, adjust natin to ng onte. Okay, medyo tansyahan lang. Ayan. Then, ganun din gagawin natin dito. Para consistent lang. Okay? If this line is 20 meters, meron tayong na-target na 100. Ano gagawin natin? So, 100 divided by 20 times 50. What would be our corresponding value? So, this would be 0.5 para 100. So, adjust natin to. Hindi pa nag-match. Okay, next. Isang 100 tsaka isang 250. So, somewhere here. Okay. So, kindly check nga kung tama yung proportioning natin. So, if every 20 meters, 0.5, so 100 divided by 20 times 0.5, so 2.5. Then next natin ay 250 divided by 20 times 0.5, 625. Okay, so parang hindi ganun ka okay. So basically, etong line na to, by projections, etong first line na 100, itatapat natin siya. Wait lang, taas natin to ha. Kasi calibration lang natin to eh. Itong 100, 100 is the freehold distance. So, hahanapin lang natin, tatansyahin natin until magmay match. Okay, so at this point, nag-match siya. So, gets ba? Ganun lang yung process. And ganun din yung gagawin dito sa 250. Copy, paste. Hahanapin lang kung saan tatapat sa curve. Okay? Yun yung gagawin na process. So, ito, adjust natin to. Okay. So, ito yung dalawang lines ha. Para at least magkakaroon kayo ng idea. Balik ko sa slide deck. So, ganito ang next. Pinroject si 100 tsaka si 250. Naintindihan tayo doon? Pa-thumbs up? If naintindihan yung process. Okay. Next is gagawin natin ay ipoproject natin. So, indicate in the mass diagram the lines for freehold distance. So, tracing upwards, the freehold volume can be identified. So, ipoproject lang natin. Papataas. So, let's have another line. Sige, black na lang. Or, sige, violet. Tapos kapalan natin. 0. Gagawin natin this time is ito. Po-project natin papataas. Lanchometer lang din to. Copy, paste. Ganun din dito. Sige, bawasan natin. Then, another one. So, dito naman. Bawasan lang natin ng length. The next one. Taasan natin. Okay. So, eto na. Pinroject lang natin papataas. Just like yung sa pag-project natin ng freehold. So, ibig sabihin, etong part na to, freehold to. This is the freehold. Okay? Libre yung pag-transfer from here papunta dito. Next naman, ito naman yung limit of equilibrium. Hindi kita. Insert, draw. Gawin natin yellow. So, from here up until here, overhaul naman. Okay? Pero, syempre, LEH yan. Tapos, ito lang ang i-overhaul. Itong part na to, tsaka ito. Okay? So, ipoproject din yung overhaul volume. So, mangyayari dito is that the volumes can be computed as a difference in mass ordinate kasi naka-volume na. Okay? Since naka-volume na si mass ordinate, ang mangyayari, okay, etong nasa taas, this one, ipoproject natin dito yan. Okay? So, this is approximately 600 something. So, for this case, 630. Tapos, ito naman ay 300. 900. Kasi, ang peak natin ay 900. So, ito ay i-project natin, habaan natin. Sige. Hindi, huwag natin habaan. Bagkus. Lagyan lang natin ng extension. Kita natin ang kulay. Okay. Ganun din dito sa baba. Mas iklian natin. Mga 0.5 na lang. Dito. Pati dito sa kabila. Yan. So, for the free hall, kasi, ito yung volumes natin eh. Ito yung hinahanapan natin ng volume. Volume netong free hall diagram. Which is basically, ito. Okay, so 900, ito yung peak na yan, 900 minus 630. So, ang volume neto ay 270 cubic meter. Okay, so ganun lang. Next, si overhaul naman, ito ay approximately located sa 100th mark, 100th level sa tawag dito, sa mass ordinate. So, ito, 630 minus 100, ang volume ay 530 meters. Okay? So, ganyan lang yan. So, yung volume from here towards here. Okay, next, volume of the waste. So, ito ay 630 mark cubic meter. Ito ay 100 cubic meter. Ito ay 205 cubic meter. Kasi ito yan, no? 205. So, 100. So, ito ang kinocompute naman natin this time. Yung volume na to. Ito yung volume. Okay? Itong volume na to ang concern natin. Kasi ito yung volume ng ibabarrow. So, ito yan. Equal yan. Yung volume na to, itong sinishade ko, is equal to this. So, 100 minus 205 equals 305 cubic meter. Okay? Next, volume of waste. Ito naman ang volume ng waste. Itong portion na to. Which is this one. Okay? So, this one is 60 cubic meter and sa taas is 100 cubic meter. Kasi ito, same line lang yan. Okay, zoom natin. Yung 60 galing yan dito sa mass ordinate na 60. Zoom in. So, 60 minus, 100 minus 60. So, ang volume waste natin ay 40 cubic meter. Okay? Next. Approximate the length of overhaul distance or the length of overhaul can be assumed to correspond to that half of the length of the OHV. Assumption lang that the length of the overhaul distance or the length the overhaul distance or the length of overhaul is 1/2 of the OHV. Okay? So, 530 divided by 2, so 265. So, again, Si 530 nanggaling sa 630 minus 100. Now, etong si 265, it is the distance from here to here. 265. Okay? Ito, 530. 530. From here to here is 530. Now, kung equal yung volume, ito ay magiging 265 and this one would be 265. Now, hahanapin natin yung location ni 265. So, at this one, 100 plus 265. So, level ng 365. Ito naman, kung manggagaling tayo sa taas, 630 minus 165, ang kakalabasan is 365. Okay? 630 minus x is equal to 265, so 365. X minus 100 is equal to 265, 365. Okay? So, with that, ito sa 365 mark, gagawin natin is that meron tayong isa pang line. Tansyahan lang ulit siya. Po-project natin. And yung length na to, itong bagong length na ginawa natin, that would be the estimated. Okay? As stated here, the estimated centroid location. Okay? Etong bagong line na ano na natin. Gawin nating ibang kulay. Gawin natin green. Ayan. That is the 365 level with an assumption of a length 175. So, itong 175, it is the letter D. Project natin to pataas. Project din natin to pataas. Okay? So, yan yung D. If you could still remember, sa graph na, sa figure natin kanina, that is the D. Diba? 175. Then, alternatively, pwede natin i-locate pababa. 57 and 162, 232 yung location ng station. So, here, 175 minus 100, that would be the overhaul distance na. Then, for the overhaul, okay. So, etong 100, if this is the FHD, ito yan. Yung 175, ito yan. Ito yung nakuha natin kanina. The distance between the two centroids, D, 175 minus 100. So, the overhaul distance would be 75 meters. Okay? 75 meters. Diba, ang formula ng OH natin is equal to volume of the overhaul multiplied by the length of the overhaul. So, 530 cubic meter times 75. So, station per 20 meters. So, it would yield 530 times 75 divided by 20. It will yield sa 1,987.5 meter station. Okay? So, basically, that's it. So, yung sa nagtanong kanina sa overhaul, ito siya. So, meter station ang consideration natin sa overhaul. Okay? So, do you have any question? May tanong ba? May question ba? Okay lang? O sige, pakitaas ang kamay if wala kayong tanong. And if may tanong kayo, use the chat box or your microphones. Okay? Very straightforward to. Medyo procedural lang talaga. Okay? Procedural lang siya pero kayang-kaya. Okay? how did you make the curve po for the natural grade line? This one, ito. Are you referring to this one? Let me change the color. Ito ba? Best fit line lang yan. Best fit line. Trend line. So, click nyo yung mga points. Right click, trend line. Okay, anything else? So, somewhat, ito kasing approach na to, tansyahan. If you could still remember yung trapezoidal rule tsaka Simpson's 1/3 rule, approximation lang. Ganon din ito. Kasi hindi natin yung volume niya per station ang consideration. Okay? Okay, sige. If wala na kayong tanong, you are free to leave. And if may tanong kayo, you may stay so that I could address your concerns. Okay? So again, thank you very much for your time. Maraming salamat. And I will also now end the recording of this discussion. Okay? Maraming salamat. See you next meeting.